I'm Louise, and today I'm joined by Matt.
Hello, Louise.
And Matt, today we're going to be talking about a game that you can see right now, which we will probably be playing as a Let's Play at some point.
I don't think there's any probably about it. This is a definitely, right?
It's a guarantee. Just look at it. I've not even said the name yet, but just look at those little squishy characters on their little legs running around. This is Fall Guys. And this is kind of like what would happen if you crossed Battle Royale with a strange game show.
I mean, with Takeshi's Castle, right? And
yes,
like,
absolutely.
If you know what Takeshi's Castle is, otherwise that analogy is meaningless.
And if someone didn't know what Takeshi's Castle is, what would it be, Matt?
It's like a sort of, I guess it is like a classic Battle Royale game show in which people compete and they got whittled down, and every single stage of it, if you will, bearing in mind that this is with real people, involve different kind of
things.
Traps and obstacles and things that usually made it look like people were walking away from that show with varying degrees of serious bodily injury, but it was amazing, and this is basically the video game of that, which is excellent news, right?
Yeah, so these squishy things, thankfully you don't really have to worry about them damaging themselves because they look like kind of sacks of clay.
I think you do.
Well, I suppose you'll get quite attached. So let's talk about what we played. So we went through 3 different stages. Now the first stage, I think there was 100 of us, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. So I think in this case there were AI bots, but in the final game the idea is that each of those 100 people will be controlled by a real human person, which is amazing, and I can't wait to see.
And it was really interesting how it was really simple. So you came up upon these doors which you had to fling yourself at and then hope it was an actual door, because some of the doors didn't work. So it was just these little blobs throwing themselves at walls and then sort of crosses coming overhead if you didn't luck out. And basically you got through about 3 or 4, and we both got through our first round, thankfully.
Yeah, and I guess as you go through as well, each like more and more of those doors ended up being fake doors.
Yes.
So in the end, like the last round of that show, obviously there's only one real door. So there's kind of a tactical element in that you're watching what everyone else is doing.
Yes.
Like you don't want to be last, but at the same time you kind of don't want to be the first person who tests the door for everyone else.
I suppose in theory you might want to stand at the end, the last one, and just wait for people to throw themselves at the wrong door.
Yeah.
But no one was doing that. Everyone was just flinging themselves forward.
I think there's an element of like you have to get into it and just being like, I'm just going to, it's a knockout, I'm just going to fling myself at the door that I believe to be real and deal with the consequences.
Like a suicidal Jellybean.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah. So then the second round that we played, so I spoke to the devs, and they're basically think there's endless amounts of, if they think something is fun and it was on a game show, then they've probably put it into a level. So the second level that we played, you were still running around as your little squishable, but certain people they're squishables. I don't really know what else to call them. So certain numbers of people have a tail, and you want to end the round with a tail. So it's kind of like playing tag, but if you don't have a tail at the end, you're not getting through.
Yeah, it's tag, but you're tearing the tail off your enemies, ripping it off and claiming it as your own.
Yes, I mean, it got to the point where because we were playing with lots of bots, they weren't being particularly aggressive, but anytime I got anywhere near you were being always aggressive, regardless of whether you had a tail or not. You were like, I'm just going to hit Louise.
If I could have been the reason why you lost your tail, that would have just made me so happy.
Yeah, yes, it would. But yeah, imagining how this will play with a stack of actually real humans just running around in circles and not being hit by the hammers and then jumping around. It's kind of like, it reminded me of Human Fall Flat, and the fact that you can jump onto things and kind of grab yourself onto things. You're not very good at manipulating the environment, really.
I guess the Jellybean factor comes in there, but I think one of the things that's interesting is, like, obviously it looks really sort of lighthearted and silly, but there was like a tactical element to this. Like, there were certain places you could go and stand where the hammer, if you ran past the hammer at exactly the right time, then it would take out everyone that was chasing you and trying to get your tail. So like, I think when it comes down to it and you're playing against real people, like it's Tig, right? Like, Tig's brilliant. Like, who doesn't love Tig? Or Tag, depending on where you're from.
Tig for me.
So, it's that, but with giant squishy hammers. So, excellent.
It was good. And then the final bit that we went through was basically a mountain of nope. I'm going to call it the mountain of nope. Where it was like one of those things when you were a kid, they had giant inflatable things that you would try and traverse in a pool or something on a huge
the world's
scale.
most dangerous soft play area.
Yes, absolutely. Murderous soft play area where you'd go up and these enormous were they bombs?
There were bomb-stroke-ball things.
Yeah.
They were like kind of big, knobbly, crushing balls. That's what I'm going to call them.
Yep, knobbly, crushing balls. That was happening.
So this will be like the finale. Once you, I think in the final game there'll probably be more levels before you get to this point. So this is like when however many of you have managed to survive this long, like you have to essentially funnel yourself up this hill and go through sort of spinning gates and obviously avoid the knobbly ball bombs and various other hammers and things like that. And it looks really simple, but the amount of times I don't know if this happened to you, maybe it's just to me thing. The amount of times I just got stuck on like the same flipper
Yeah.
because you were committed to be like, no, I'm going this way. I'm not changing now. I'm going to keep going until I got through.
Then there is the final element, which is a crown. And of course you really want the crown, but the crown is moving up and down and the whole place is moving and you have to run and jump, and it's just this endless circle of trying to catch the crown.
And only one person obviously can have the crown, and
One
the person
person.
that has the crown is the winner. And then in the first game that we played, I won easily, triumphantly, partially also because I was standing next to one of the devs and he just said essentially, if you jump now and press right trigger, you'll grab the crown.
Okay, my dev did not say that.
So I kind of did that without really knowing what I'd done, but like it made sense afterwards. And also, yeah, it's all in the timing, because I think the crown changes, it gets faster,
Yes.
and like obviously, you know, when you get there first, you don't want to wait. You want to you want to just,
because I missed it. I snatched defeat from the jaws of victory because there's people coming up behind me. They're going to want this crown. I'm just going to launch myself at it, and then I would miss.
Imagine that, having got to that point with 100 other real people. If you played anything like, you know, I guess any battle royale game, if you played like Tetris 99 or something like that, the increased stress of being in that last group of people, you know, and obviously the incentive of grabbing a great big crown as well. I mean, like I'm so in. I cannot wait.
Very into. And yes, I did win the second round, and I got an actual crown. They gave me an actual crown so that I could feel smug. But yes,
I was hoping we'd gloss over that bit.
Yes, well, we didn't. But yes, so Fall Guys is out next year. They've not given us a specific date yet, but we've got all the other things coming out next year, so we don't need to sit and twiddle your thumbs, but it will be very, very exciting when it's out. But as ever, if you have any questions for us about what we played of the game, please pop them in the comments below. Drop us a like if you enjoyed the fact that I won as well as Matt did, and subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one. If you do already subscribe, hit the notification bell or the bell of awakening so that you know when our next video lands.